Yes, indeed, folks. This is, of course, WoW Radio. This is Total Biscuit with Blue Please. Blue Please. I'm impressed. Has to be said, I'm impressed. Someone by the name of Creezo has actually recognised where my name was from. I get asked that all the time. Where did you get Total Biscuit from? How do you think of Total Biscuit? I'm like, I didn't really. I stole it. Stole it. I nicked it from a Terry Pratchett book, oddly enough. A book called Can't Be Juggling. I highly recommend Terry Pratchett, his Discworld series, if you haven't had the chance to read it. I think if you're a WoW player, you'd enjoy the kind of fantasy satire. He does this bizarre, twisted comedy fantasy world. But in this fantasy world, there's so many satirical things. Real-life parodies, mainly. So he'll parody real-life issues, real-life technology, stuff like that. He did a whole book about freedom of the press, and he had freedom of the press in this strange fantasy world where dwarves went and smashed up the printing press and all that kind of stuff. It was good fun. It's a good laugh. Anyway, back to the issues at hand, because I'm getting way off topic. Shortly, you shall be introduced to one of our first debut features, and it's fantastic, folks. The name is Ask the Murloc. Ask the Murloc, folks, and I've got a special sound just for you. If I can find it. Where is it? Okay.
Ask the Murloc.
How good does that sound? Really? Let's play it again.
Ask the Murloc.
You're going to hear that about 500 times this show, I warn you. That is fabulous. Anyway, Ask the Murloc. Have any of you ever been on Face Party? That crazy site full of loads of 13-year-old geeks that write in stupid letters and stuff. Yeah, that kind of thing. Well, it's alright. I love Backstreet Boys and then 50 little crosses in pink. Like, I want to stab you in the face. I want to burn you alive on a pyre for the good of the land. Oh well. The only good thing about Face Party, as far as I'm concerned, is a thing called Grim Reaper. Now, Grim Reaper is an agony ant that basically takes the piss out of people and is exceedingly mean. Ask the Murloc is a sort of World of Warcraft rip-off of that, where an interesting upper-class Murloc will give his advice on player issues. If you want to submit something for next week's Ask the Murloc, you can do so. Just let me know. Throw me a PM on the chat room, which is, of course, www.wcradio.com. Go over there, click IRC, get on the chat room, give us your input, and you can throw me a question for Ask the Murloc for next week. We've already prepared it for this week. Of course it is.
Ask the Murloc.
Oh, yes. I love it. Anyway. Honor system. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let's hear. Let's hear what you have to say about the honor system. Get in the chat room. Get over there right now, and let's hear your thoughts about the honor system. And I shall read them out on air. I'll discuss them. But one of the interesting things was I recently got hold of this article on GameSpy. Yeah, that gaming site. A guy called Tom Chilton on PvP in World of Warcraft. Usual long blurb, attempting to sound clever, as GameSpy journalists usually do. He goes on about the honour system. And he says, the result of the honour system was a plethora of griefers and gankers in PvP servers. Without any incentive to shoot for, players began to make their own fun, and for many that meant continually killing and re-killing low-level players. Now, apparently that was the state before the honour system. That was apparently the state before the honour system. Isn't that how it is right now? Seriously. Other than they now have a reason to do it. I don't know. I don't know what you think about the honour system, but my opinion is, to be honest, it's no worse than it was in the first place. Before the honour system, you get ganked anyway. Stranglethorn Vale, Ganklethorn Vale, as we like to call it. You would get ganked. Seriously, you would get ganked. I mean, Nessing Waries was a war zone. No two ways about it. Nessing Waries was a complete war zone. Anywhere in Stranglethorn Vale, bang, bang, bang. Ashen Vale, bang, bang, bang. Desolus, less so. But Hillsbrad, definitely. Hillsbrad was always bad. Alterac. But the thing about the honour system is they're giving people a reason to gank people, which you could view that in one of two ways. Either you could view it in the way that they were going to gank people anyway, and it doesn't really make much difference. Or you could view it in the sense of, well, the honour system is a bad thing because it encourages people to gank for points. And of course, as you know, points mean prizes. My opinion on the matter is, basically, this is what was happening already. Only there is actually a reason to do it now. There's a sane and sensible reason. If I get ganked, at least I know that that player has done it for points, which he can then cash in for fat loot later on. That's cool. I can live with that. Before it was, I'm getting ganked for the simple reason that some bloody 13-year-old spotty little twat has got his road to level 60. Not that that's particularly difficult. And he's deciding to run around ganking me, my poor level 40 mage or whatever. And he's giggling at me in his little high-pitched, balls haven't dropped yet squeakathon. I ganked the noob. Die. Burn in hell. Now at least, I know that they're doing it for a reason. I can understand it. I think, to be honest, what would reduce the ganking a little bit is a very clear indication of how many points you get for doing certain things. Take, for example, this is off the top of my head. I believe level 60 that kills level 60 gets 133 honor points or something. That's full health to 0. Level 60 who kills a level 48 gets 20 points. So you've got to kill, what, 6, 7 level 48s instead of a level 60 to get the same amount of honor points, and that's not even in a group. You take a group, it's shared between the group. So you got 20 honor points, you got ganking group of 5, 4 honor points. Whoopity doodah day, 4 honor points. Is it really worth it? It isn't. I mean, it's obvious to any player with an ounce of common sense that it's not worth it. However, we're talking about World of Warcraft players here. They don't have any common sense. They don't know. They don't know how little honor they're actually getting to. And by the end of the week, they'll say, I killed 500 noobs and I only got 1,000 honor points. I can't have my fat loot. Die. Simply because you went around in a group of 5 picking on lobies. You're not getting any fat loots for that. That's not going to happen. I think the carrot doesn't work, folks. The carrot doesn't work with these people. You need the stick. And that may mean dishonourable kills. This brings me back to the article. This guy called Tom Chilton really hasn't done his research. He says, and I quote, another issue that has plagued PvP has been the issue of punishment. In the version of the honour system as it stands now, there is no real penalty for killing a player more than 10 levels below you. Such a kill gains a dishonourable kill point in the system, but otherwise doesn't impact the player. No, it doesn't. A dishonourable kill is for civilians. You should know that by now. You kill a civilian with a little green tag, dishonourable kill. Yeah, it's got no effect right now, but the next patch is bringing in some effects. Now, it's interesting that this Tom Chilton guy's obviously not really played the game. Yeah, he really hasn't. But, I want to know who this guy is, but I'll find out later. If anyone knows who Tom Chilton is, then please let me know, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Anyway. Ganking honour system. Murlocs, bears, oh my. I think it's to be expected, really. Players aren't acting sensibly. If you run around and contest the territory on your own, even without a mount or whatever, even with a mount, expect to be killed, really. Seriously. That's how contested territory works. They're not going to do it honourably. They're not going to wait, throw the glove, go back to back, walk 10 paces and open fire. That's not how it works. They're going to shoot you in the back, stab you in the back of the head, when you're killing a mob, doing a quest, blah, 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 anything like that. That's how it's going to happen. You don't have a choice in the matter, really. Except you do. The fact is you do have a choice in the matter. Stick around with your friends. It might seem obvious, but really, some people don't seem to realise. If you want to stop yourself getting ganked, get a big group. You do quests a lot faster anyway. You should know by now that quest XP is far better than grinding XP most of the time. So if you take a group of 5, you can thrash a quest easily. You know, no problem. Thrash a quest. You'll have fun doing it because you've got a bit of camaraderie there. And the idea of playing an MMO, in my opinion anyway, is not the same as playing Baldur's Gate on your own. It isn't the same. The reason you're doing it is because you know for a fact that there are 1,000 other people doing it as well. They're doing it and they're willing to do it with you. They're willing to get excited. They're willing to get into the spirit of things. In some cases, they're really willing to roleplay on the roleplay service. But this whole solo mentality for an MMO is totally illogical. Anyway, Rento asks, do I really expect players to act sensibly? Don't be ridiculous. Of course, no. The idea is players, once they get in a guild, should be acting sensibly, and I think guild play is the way to go. People whinge, they get killed. Oh, I can't get an instance group. Oh, I've got an instance group full of, people who ninja loot and stuff like that. Well, the reason you've done that is because you've grouped with people you don't even know. And you've got to bear in mind that the internet is full of arseholes. Really. I'm not kidding. This is no joke, folks. The internet is full of very unpleasant people. I believe the penny arcade theory for the internet went something along the lines of this. Anonymity. Right, normal person plus internet plus anonymity equals tard. Indeed. And it works, really. Because there is no recourse. There is no recourse for being a total twat online, even in the game. You bear in mind the GMs don't really do all that much. They'll ban a few hackers, but they've got a policy of not refunding you for scams, ninja loot, etc., etc. The simple way to avoid that, folks, is to get into a guild with people you trust. Don't group with randoms. Friends don't let friends group with randoms. It's that simple. Anyway, I have a feature. I mentioned this feature earlier, and it's called
Ask the Murloc.
Hopefully that woke you up from the boring chat there. A bit of
Ask the Murloc.
Oh, you just don't get any better than that. Round of applause, please. Yes, point taken. Anyway, ask the Murloc. The Murloc has had a little bit of a polishing. Gone are the days of seeing the Murloc, little fish man, with his stick, going... Oh, hang on, let me find my sound sample. There we go. Going like this. Or this. I can't say I've heard a Murloc sound like that. Anyway, sound like cashmere. I want a cashmere sweater. The thing is, this Murloc does wear a cashmere sweater. This is an upper-class Murloc. This is a Queen's English British Murloc. It sounds like a horrific thing, folks, but time to introduce our first feature of the day. You're listening to Blue Please. You're listening to Warcraft Radio with myself, Total Biscuit, and this is
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I've been a paladin since launch, but I don't have a lot of luck in PvP. Do you have any tips as to how I can improve my survivability?
Aha! There's a stinking, snivelling coward hiding under a few feet of plate armor and a gazillion buffs. I would think the answer would be obvious, even to someone as stupid as yourself. If you spot any of these ever-so-threatening horde players within 3 miles of your location, simply gauge Divine Shield and use your Hearthstone. Using this honourable technique, you will ensure that your shiny armour doesn't get any of your filthy entrails all over it next time an orc decides to make mincemeat out of your poncy posterior. Ha!
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I'm having trouble earning enough money for my mount. No matter how much I try, I can't grind enough. Please help me.
Ah, my dear boy, the answer is simple. Stop spending, noob. Ha! No, but seriously, pay attention. See those trade skills? Yeah, the pretty buttons. Use them. Build some worthless junk and then palm it off some idiot on the auction house. Work out what people want and then flog it to them at an overinflated price. Christ, it's like no one has a basic grasp of economics these days. Kindly die with a minimum of fuss. Ha ha ha!
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I am a human male, and I've fallen in love with a female Doran from Bloodhoof. Like a tragic Romeo and Juliet scenario, our factions are at war and our union would never possibly be approved. Can you offer any sagely advice?
Ah, yes, my dear chap, I can indeed provide you with some exceedingly sagely advice for just such an occasion. For God's sake, man, you're talking about screwing a giant cow here. Seek help at all costs. Ha ha ha!
Ask the Murloc.